Thank you for joining. So this is Thailand. I'm Valerie McKenzie. Sawadee ka.
I'm Johan Wimonchalao. Swadee krap.
And I'm Tapani Manawet. สวัสดีค่ะ
Now, lots happening, lots to do, but I think we've got quite a little cute story for you this morning, Johan.
Oh, absolutely. Well, number one, welcome back.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed your time away from the studio.
I did indeed. It's always nice to be with family, huh?
Yes, it is. Well, I don't know if you read up on the Thai news, but you might have heard about a recent story about, well, a rather attached duck. It seems that a duck, I guess, supplier had collected all his ducks when he had visited the temple, but forgot and left one behind. Kind of like one of the children's stories. I think it's called Ping the Duck was kind of left behind.
Yes, that's exactly right. It was.
But this duck, similarly intelligent, has been following around one particular monk very, very loyally, going out when he's collecting alms in the morning, being very, very, solemn, standing there patiently, not quacking or anything. Even when the monk is going to meditate, the duck stands on the monk's shoes and waits until the monk comes out.
It's got to be very
sweet.
special, isn't it? Sure, it's going to beat having dogs, let me tell you. Nice, cute stories, but what you want now, I guess you all want to know now, where is the duck? Where is the temple so you can go and visit? We don't know, but we'll actually try and find out for you by the end of the program. So, what's the talk of the town?
Well, talk of the town today is unfortunately starting off in Rayong at a primary school. They found lead in some of the school equipment. Now, this is a story that we've actually seen in the past in children's toys that were found. Lead was in the paint on these children's toys some years ago, but it seems to have snuck back again. And about 3 students between the age of 8 and 10 were found to have had higher than normal levels of lead in their system. But the school officials do, affirm that it's not so high that they're at a health risk.
So, are the toys actually supplied by the school, or are the toys actually individuals' toys that they bring to the school? I mean,
well, this was playground equipment, so like swings, jungle gyms, things like that. So, they're still trying to investigate how lead-based paint was used in these pieces of equipment. But they found that equipment had about 2,000 to 3,000 parts per million of lead in it, and the regulations say you can't have more than 600, so that's 5 times the amount.
Wow.
So I guess for all the international schools, that's not a problem. Well, hopefully not. But what you've got to be very careful of is when you actually go to the private parks, the private play groups, when you're out up country, or maybe around Bangkok, that you see an area where kids are playing, just see if the paint's peeling off it. If it's actually peeling, then you need to know that there is a problem. So
I guess that lead-based paint was quite a thing of the 70s, and they stopped manufacturing those anymore. But
it's obviously a cheaper way of doing it, I guess. That's why they're using this. So one would also assume that the actual products are substandard too. That's something you need to be careful of too. Tara, your story.
Right, mine is quite a serious one, so get ready. This is about the Truth for Reconciliation Commission report and the reactions that it's garnered so far. So if you are not familiar with it, it has been released, and in the report, which took about a year in the making as from the political turmoil of 2010. It's been a while and took a while to collect all the data. It
Chronologically.
Wow, lists the events, thank you, and also provides accounts from conventional and social media, and also witness accounts as well. I guess it's no surprise that the report has not been well received by all parties, because you can't please everyone. And actually, even though some of the critics and academics have said that there's no obvious bias, the political parties' reactions and reactions from the red shirts has not been very positive. In the report, some of the findings include that it has confirmed the existence of the so-called men in black. It also confirms that there were bomb attacks and hospital invasions, therefore weakening the argument that the protests were peaceful. In the meantime, though, it says that it was wrong for the government to enlist military action to push back the protesters, and also that the anti-government forces were armed and provocative. It also questions amnesty programs saying that reconciliation can't be forced, especially not by a party that controls the parliamentary majority. And so very mixed results so far. Something that is quite positive that came out of this is that the UN High Commission for Human Rights has acknowledged the report and accepts it. So it has some kind of international backing. And something that's not so positive is that the Yingluck government has now commissioned another truth report, which is in the making.
Well,
so there you go. That's the recap. Wow.
It's quite a long recap. I have to say, I mean, some of the things that have been reconfirmed I find a little strange, like the men in black, you know, they were there. We all saw them. I have a friend who lives very close to Chitlom, actually on Chitlom, where the men in black were there with the van that had the bombs in it. I mean, that's just incredible. I guess that reconciliation will be hard, but I think one of the things we need to do is move forward and find out how we can look at the future, because the past will just go on and on and on and will cloud our views, and also it'll actually permeate through the younger generation too. So it's good that we have yet another report, but this is another report on another report on another report. Let's move forward, guys. Let's move forward.
Yeah, and it'll be kind of curious to see how the UN's reaction to this will be. So, you know, we'll cover that in the future as well.
Yeah, the thing is, it kind of blames everyone equally, and no one wants to take responsibility or to take blame. So that's why it's not being accepted by the parties who are involved or mentioned.
So this is Thailand, you know. Everyone takes part of the blame, then we get on with the next thing, hopefully. What's the next story?
Well, the next story is about the rice auction, where 9 rice trading companies have now won bids to buy rice from the Ministry of Commerce. Interestingly enough, they say that the auctioned rice has been in stock for a year, and they're being sold to make room so that a new batch of rice can be accepted. There's so much of it. The Foreign Trade Department, or FTP, has expressed satisfaction with the proposed prices, which it says is in the middle range. And this auctioned rice is going to be distributed domestically and not exported. They say, so we get the old rice. They say that if it doesn't affect the local market prices, the auction will be held every week until the end of year. And at the prices it's fetching, it is an $100 per ton increase from last year. So I guess we'll be consuming more expensive rice.
Now, for those of you who watched when I interviewed the president of the Rice Exporters Association, it looks as though we're in for a really good time. They're saying the price will be set, but in reality, what she said to us was, the price will be reduced. It'll be great for consumers in Bangkok and Thailand. We'll be able to get cheaper rice. What we didn't know is it will be a year old, but we'll pay less.
Well, the whole system, it seemed a little bit flawed from the beginning. The fact that they're trying to have to catch up to remove the stocks that were there, when in fact, you know, the whole purpose of this was to be able to make sure that the farmers were able to benefit from this, weren't being shortchanged.
That didn't happen.
But that didn't happen.
The rich got richer, and the smaller ones didn't quite get what they should have got. But anyway, we will keep you posted. Listen, if any of you find that rice is so much cheaper in your supermarket, how about you come to us on Facebook or write to us and let us know, so we can actually start following that story. We might see you out there, one of the supermarkets around Sukhumvit.
Well, coming up last on the list for the talk of the town, we're looking at the situation in the south. Some of you might have known that around 93 rebels have, they say defected, but have turned themselves into authorities and are looking to seek amnesty and justice for themselves, quite ironically. They're looking to identify some of their compatriots who didn't turn themselves in, and the authorities are praising this move, in fact, but they're trying to get it to the fact that they want everyone to turn themselves in, which obviously is an uphill battle. You know, looking at the whole situation down there, they're really trying to focus on the children that you have down there, to educate them, to bring that level of education higher, so that you don't have people being enlisted into these rebel factions in the first place. And they're hoping if they can bring that level of equality up in terms of at least education, then the violence down there will subside.
Well, let's hope so. I mean, that's probably a very simplistic view, of course, but you have to start somewhere. It's a bit like the environment. We start with the children. We hope that the adults will actually understand what the children are saying. I guess one of the things, it's not been in the English press, and I would hope that it is in the Thai press, and maybe we can get it for you. There was a meeting established between the Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra, and also the head of the Prajatipat, the Democrats, Kun Abasit Wijajiva, and it said there would be a meeting talking about the South, that they would try to actually work together. Nothing happened yet from what we know as the public. Obviously, a lot of it has to be secretive, but there should be something to actually get us involved, because the problem in the South is for all of us. It's not just for those people in the South. It's also our acceptance of that situation. So,
if I
Tara,
can say, I think like from my simplistic understanding, it's very weird that usually if there is a national problem, the government would try to step in to solve it. But it seems like they're saying, well, the kind of southern violence problem is kind of the Democrats' responsibility. So
because you've
the
got more
Democrats
seats down
can
there.
come
Exactly.
and work with us, which is very weird because the government has the voting and you know, everything power behind it. So.
And for so many years now, we've had problems in the South. Sadly, it keeps accelerating. And over the weekend, of course, was a horrific situation again. Innocents killed. That's absolutely unacceptable. Talking about unacceptable, I'm sorry I wasn't here last week, but I had a nice time. I hope you did too, with Belinda. And Johan, very kindly, he didn't offer, but he actually went out and did V-talk for Women Chalao. So, what was the story, Johan?
Well, we had a great chance. It was kind of a last-minute story, having a lot of European ambassadors coming together for a new program. It's called UNIC. It stands EUNIC. That's the European Union National Institutes of Culture. And what they're doing is they're pooling all their resources and their activities together to say, you know, we have all this history and this culture in the European Union. Let's share that with the Thais, while maintaining our identity, but show them, you know, Europe in general, we have so much to share and so much to give. So there'll be a whole bunch of activities coming up, which I do cover in the talk.
We'll go there to a break, and then we'll see you, or you'll see Johan, after the break.